Gonna review stuff. Very exciting. So, not Polygon's Doom. God damn it. This is Uncharted 4, not Polygon's Doom. I'm not a huge Uncharted fan, and I will go on, and I have gone regular. I reviewed Uncharted 3 just a couple weeks ago. I think the Uncharted games are overrated. I think they have a lot of problems, but I couldn't resist Uncharted 4 because everyone's talking about it and everyone's so good, it's so good. So I played it. And in a very shocking twist to me, this game is amazing. They fixed basically all the problems I had. So I'll list the problems I have with Uncharted in general. The main ones being there's too much shooting, and the shooting's not very good. The shooting in this one is better, but still not that great, but there's not a lot of it. There's way more instances of, okay, there's 12 guys here, and that's all you have to fight. Okay, there's 20 guys here, that's all you have to fight. Not room after room after room of very mediocre cover shooter. There's still instances where you have to shoot a lot, but they're few and far between, and they added in a stealth mechanic, which is incredible to me. I love stealth, and I think the stealth here is not, I mean, it's not like amazing, but it's so good, and it fits perfectly with the gameplay that they already had it. It's actually, I think the stealth is better than the shooting. It's more fun to me. And it's more fun to pick off most of the guys and accidentally get seen and then just shoot the last couple. It makes a lot more sense, too, from a narrative perspective. If you and your weird brother are sneaking in to a place, it makes more sense that you could get the jump on people and stealth kill a bunch of dudes as opposed to being a one-man army and killing 100 guys. So there's that. They fixed that. They fixed a lot of the platforming stuff. The platforming before is, in like 3 for instance, is great, and then 10% of the time I don't know where I'm going, I don't know what to do or where to jump or anything. They fixed that in this. This didn't happen that much. Anytime I didn't know where to go, it felt like, oh, I'm solving a puzzle. I gotta go over here, maybe I look, okay, here's where you go. That's great. They added sliding on rocks, which is weird, and some people, I guess a lot of people were more concerned about that than I was, because this whole sliding shenanigans I just thought was a fun thing, and other people are going, you do that so much. I'm like, I like sliding on rocks. The other thing is, the only other new addition would be the rope rappel thing, and that I love that. Swinging around like Tarzan is awesome. Doesn't make any goddamn sense as to why Mr. Rock Climbing Drake never had it before the other games, so that doesn't really add up. It also actually doesn't even make sense. It doesn't even, like, you wouldn't be able to do any of this in real life anyway, so I guess why complain about that in the first place? So they fixed that, and they fixed that, and then they fixed the puzzles, which is the other problem I have with Uncharted 3. The puzzles were either, like, I don't know what the goal is here, I don't know what you're telling me to do, or I know what to do, but here's like the gears. There's a bunch of gears on the ground. You have to kind of move them into position. Here's a bunch of gears, but they're really slow and hard to move, and it takes a good 5 minutes once you even know the answer just to move shit around. There's another puzzle in Uncharted 3 where you're lining up like weird pictographs or whatever, and it's like, I gotta go to this machine and press triangle, then I rotate this, then I leave and I go press triangle on this other machine and then do this other stuff. Not Espanol. Oh, it's this part's the game is in Panama. So that puzzle's bad in Uncharted 3, but then you get to Uncharted 4, and I loved all the puzzles. Now, it's not the Witness or anything, and I wasn't stuck on any of them for too very long, but they're all really good, and they're all really fun, and they add this thing, where, like in Uncharted 3 that was terrible at it, where it's fun to solve them. It doesn't take 6 minutes to move a thing around once you know the answer to solve the problem. That's the thing. They fixed that, and I loved all the puzzles. I would have played so many more puzzles, and that's back to what I was talking about with the reduced combat encounters. There's a lot of this game where you're just walking around, looking at stuff, jumping on shit, and stealthing. There's hours in a row where you're not shooting anyone, and it's great. I love the platforming. I love the solving the puzzles. I love driving around in a Jeep. Then you do a little stealth section. It's so good at moving from section to section to section to section, and it doesn't fill it with garbage like Uncharted 3 did, or all the other Uncharteds did, that annoyed me. And it tells its story. Now, people love this story. I'm not going to spoil anything, but people really enjoy the story in these games, and I think they're well told. I think, and I mean, hands down in this one, it's gorgeous. Probably the best character models I've ever seen in a game. Just from facial expressions, the acting, the voice acting, the animation, everything is incredible in the story. Now, I'm not going to say that the story itself is super amazing, but the storytelling is second to none, especially in a video game. Like, it's incredible what they accomplish here. There should be more puzzles in games that require you to be at least semi-proficient in a second language. That's an interesting thing, and we can maybe talk about that later. But that's tough to do. But I do kind of agree with you. That's why sometimes I play games in Japanese, just for kind of fun and to challenge and learn things. It's a fun thing. Now, back on track. Incredible storytelling, but the story itself is, oh, your brother is not dead, and now we're gonna go look up for treasure. Like, the story isn't amazing. I don't think the story in any of the Uncharted games has been that incredible. It's the storytelling. It's the characters that are interesting. And you really do start to like Sam, Nate's brother. He's a good character. Now, they don't use Sully enough. He's in it enough, but not enough, right? And they don't use Elena nearly enough in this. She's missing for a lot of the game. But it's great. And they have fantastic moments. Every character has a fantastic moment with each other. It's so nice to see it. And the ending is basically perfect. The only way I'd say to improve the ending was if it was an hour longer and I could just watch more of the epilogue. That's the only way I'd say you could make it better, because the ending was incredibly good. Loved it. Just loved it. And it's crazy to me. It's crazy to me that I like this game so much, because I'm not... Uncharted's an 8. Uncharted 3, it's an 8. This game's incredible. This game, not perfect by any means, but almost. It's so fun. I don't even know how to say it, really, because it was... I was expecting to like it. I liked the previous Uncharted, but this game combines everything perfectly and exactly how I wanted it. It was almost like they made the game for me. They turned Uncharted into a game I would like every bit of, instead of just 80% of. But between how it goes from story beat, and then it's platforming, and then it's combat, and then it's stealth, and then it just moves around so well between them. And I would say the game is kind of long. It does feel like some things could be cut in certain respects, certain areas of the game. But I don't know. I redboxed the game, so I was kind of trying to not rush through it, but play it for 4 or 5 hours in a sitting. That kind of starts to wear on you. There's a couple things, like going back to the combat. There were many times in Uncharted 3 where I thought the combat was too much and annoying, and I didn't like it, to the point of where maybe I should have just turned it on to easy and just said fuck it. But I didn't. I don't know why I didn't do that. But for instance, the area in Uncharted 3 where you're on the shipyard, that's all the wrecked ships, the combat in there is kind of garbage, but the platforming is good. And I don't understand why they didn't just do this the entire time. Have fewer combat encounters. Focus on the platforming. And it's... Can I talk about the stealth? Because holy fuck, the stealth is so goddamn good. It really changes everything about this game. I would say 70% of the combat encounters in this game you can use stealth in, which is incredible. And in this game, there was only 2 combat encounters where I was like, fuck this place, I don't like this at all. Everything else was, this is an amazing stealth sequence, I can't believe this is happening, I'm taking out this guy, I'm ducking into tall grass, jumping into water and swimming around. Fantastic. Fantastic. There was something else because I don't care. It's so good. It's so good. I don't know why. It's so good. But when people for years have been saying that the Uncharted games are good, and I've played them and been like, yeah, they're fine, but they're like, they're so good. This is the one that's so good. This is the one that finally fulfills the promise that the other ones did. Now, it doesn't have as many amazing set piece moments as the other ones. In fact, if you've seen the E3 where you're driving the Jeep and then there's like the behind closed doors things that they eventually showed where you're jumping from car to car and kind of doing a whole Mad Max sequence, that's the best part of the game. So I would say if you don't know what I'm talking about, don't look it up. That's the best part of the game. It's incredible, and that's about the only really amazing set piece moment. There's a few things where I'm a bit tired of the jungle. Everything is varied, even if it's the same island. It's varied enough to where you're not like, I'm in the same tree place. But it would be nice to see more different environments. There was one point in this game where like, oh, that we're near a volcano, and I'm like, oh, cool, we could go into a volcano. I've never seen that in an Uncharted game, in a volcano. That could be amazing. You don't go near the volcano. Spoilers. You don't go anywhere near the volcano. But it's incredible. And so, basically, if you're a hater like me, who was not impressed, they're fine by Uncharted 1 through 3. I loved The Last of Us. This is the game. This is the game that proves they're better at a lot of things. Naughty Dog's better than a lot of developers. This is so well done and so cared for, and there's amazing story moments. This is a good movie. It's a long movie, but it's a great movie. Volgamo? What's Volgamo? Yes, Volgamo the volcano. That's the one thing. Oh, that's the other thing. Let's say thing more times. There's one part at the end where you have to dodge explosives that's really stupid and annoying. That I don't think executed very well in a way that's fun or interesting. It's more like, oh my god, I gotta do this. That's not good. And as it went further, I would like actually more platforming. There's one sound right after that. What was it? Oh, at the very end, there's a final boss fight that this series has never had a good final boss. Although if it has a final boss, I don't think the first one did. 2 does, and then 3 doesn't. It has a weird one. That one's not bad. So maybe it's just 2 and 4. Terrible final boss fight in this game. It's not executed well. It runs like garbage. It's a cool concept, and when it works, but it just kind of falls apart and doesn't feel right simply because it changes the controls into something that you're not used to. We've been spending 15 hours playing the game, and now here's something new, and it doesn't quite feel right. Oh, that's the other thing too. The hand-to-hand combat, there's a couple of sections where, like at the beginning of this video, as you're fighting people in a prison, and then you're fighting Nadine, one of the villains. The hand-to-hand combat's bad. It's not good at all. I don't like it. I don't think it works. It doesn't make any sense. Fighting enemies in a normal sense that's not a cinematic works perfectly. But the one-on-one fights that are supposed to be cinematic moments look good, but feel terrible and are not fun. A game that includes a volcano. Yeah, there's not a lot of volcanoes in that's not necessarily true. There's volcanoes. But it's great. The game's great, and I'm so surprised at how much I liked it. It's really good. Oh, I guess a few notes about the multiplayer. I played the beta before, and I really enjoyed it. But this multiplayer now, after playing games like Overwatch, which let you in the game instantly, it is annoying to be like, alright, I gotta wait 40 seconds, and then I gotta wait for the game to load, and then I gotta wait for the game to start. It just feels very tedious. The games themselves kind of go on too long. If in a team deathmatch, it's kills to 40, and it can take 20 minutes. It feels like it just takes forever. It doesn't feel fast. The matches need to be quicker, basically is what I'm saying. The matches need to be quicker. And I played maybe 5 matches this time. I played more in the beta, but it seems like they didn't. It just doesn't feel quite. It's not a multiplayer mode you're gonna come back to, really. I don't think. I think there might actually be there's unlocks when you level up in it, or not really level up, but like complete challenges that I feel like give people unfair advantages because now you have a smoke bomb. Okay, well when I was playing without it, I didn't have that, so that's something someone else could have. You're not really on a level playing field until you level up a bunch, I guess. Fine, whatever. No one's playing it for that. It's so good. It's so good. There's no other complaints I have. This game went from something like, I guess I'll redbox it. Fuck, okay, fine. It's like it went from an obligation to I might pick this up when it gets cheaper because I'm so poor and sad. I might actually pick this up and own and play again, which is something I never really have wanted to do with an Uncharted game before. And even better, you can go back and play separate encounters. So the Mad Max portion that was awesome, I just went and played again because it's fucking incredible. It's a great game. Cool bonuses too, like screen. You can turn the game cell shaded. Cool stuff. Very fun. Does not have a volcano. It's unfortunate. It's unfortunate that there's no volcano. I would have liked a volcano. But there's no volcano. It sucks. There should be more volcanoes, man. I'm telling you. More volcanoes.